Being excited about the truth is not enough. You just need to go a little smidge further. Hoist your sails. Another metaphor for baby steps. Hoist your sails so that the universe can fill them with her unending, unfailing winds. After The Secret came out, the DVD and the book, I was often asked, as I shared with you last week, if thoughts become things is our magic wand, do I have to show up and take action? I mean, a lot of people ask that. Yes, as I make this a recurring point in all of these masterminds, physical action, AKA the baby steps, is all important, not to hit the home run, but to give the universe the chance to hit the home run. You're the pitcher. The universe is the home run hitter. In this analogy, you're both on the same team, unlike baseball. So you're the pitcher, and every pitch is a baby step. Hey, maybe this one. Hey, maybe. You don't just pitch one. You don't just say, this is it. My book will be published. Oprah will love it. I'll live happily ever after. Because then you exclude an infinite number of other possible paths through which your life could have blasted off. So you keep on pitching. This book, I'll write it to the best of my ability. This assignment, this relationship, this knock on the door, I'm going to be there fully in my glory. Remember joining the Rotary Club last week, that analogy, when I talked about what makes a cursed how cursed? It's not what you do, it's how you view why you did it. And if you think you're hitting the home run, it's way too much pressure. Plus you're closing doors. So another way I like to speak about the importance of physical action, not to overwhelm you. Your part's the easy part. Just show up. Another way I like to frame it is being excited about the truth. And you know that feeling. We feel it every single Tuesday morning, right? That feeling of infinite possibilities. I'm loved and adored. I'm here to thrive. I'm being pushed on to greatness every day. That feeling won't change your life. Being excited about the truth is not enough. You just need to go a little smidge further. Hoist your sails. Another metaphor for baby steps. Hoist your sails so that the universe can fill them with her unending, unfailing winds and take you and your 15 tons of fiberglass and kitchen sink wherever you want to go on planet Earth. Your part's the easy part. Hoist the sails, show up, baby steps. You don't have to know the right road. It's probably not even knowable at the outset of a journey, but there must be you moving to the best of your ability down a path, any path, after having programmed the dream with a big picture title, end result, lifestyle, priority areas, arenas. These subsequent steps are just to make it super easy for you with today's workshop to actually come up with concrete things you will immediately begin doing as your baby steps. Enough cannot be said about the magic you weld when you wave your wand through showing up. I remember talking about this, so I will not rehash it, but we have a really simple little worksheet from November 19th, 2019, The Art of Getting Started. And there I talk about the magic and the infinite possibilities, how, why, logistically, that you create when you just show up down any dang path. So for your convenience, you may have already noticed under my video right now that you're watching, live or recorded, not only is there today's 2-page worksheet, but a quick link for immediate access to the November 19th, 2019 worksheet. When we take action, heretofore with our physical senses alone, we think, the early bird gets the worm. God helps those who help themselves. I need to go out there and believe in myself. And this is where we think we have to hit the home run. The reason until now we show up in life is because we think that's how we're going to hit the home run. And No wonder most people get psyched out, get overwhelmed. They dream of champagne caviar and they're showing up with baby steps to a job they hate at the mall. And it's like, how can that ever be reconciled? How come I don't know my path? I don't know my purpose. And we turn it into an equation it never needed to be turned into. Instead of viewing that baby step as you possibly hitting the home run, which is how we normally ascribe value to action, look at that list of getting started and the download. Let me read it to you right now. It's on my monitor. You embolden by showing up on with a baby step down a sucky dirt path. Okay. You don't have to pick a great path. You embolden your own empowering positive beliefs that this is now happening. Look at me. Your inner witness is like, oh, this is not the same old, same old. Mike's going out there to that crappy job with a smile on his face. Prepare all systems for a change. Your inner witness sees this and you are emboldening your beliefs. Number two, you short circuit any invisible limiting beliefs you may have had that, oh, this can't happen. It is happening. You're going out there. So even if you don't know what they are and you have invisible limiting beliefs, you're short circuiting them by simply showing up, even if you're in doubt, uncertain, don't like yourself, not sure if there's a universe. You're erasing invisible limiting beliefs through your behavior. You taking action down a sucky dirt path creates clarity, creates and breeds clarity. Suddenly, you've gone one step further up the ladder, as Martin Luther King Jr. said, and you can see things you couldn't have seen a week earlier. So that's number three. Number four, you summon the resources you need to finish the journey. When you start out with a journey, as I've recounted many times, of course you don't have the confidence. Of course you don't have clarity. Of course you don't have the financial resources. Of course you lack the creativity. But starting summons all of this, even if it's down a sucky dirt path. And then, of course, the coup de grace. When you show up in the physical world, not only are those four things magically done for you without even consciously thinking of them, but you become a lightning rod for serendipities and so-called coincidence. You become reachable by the universe, who's just yearning to press out all that your heart desires to you, and it can't reach you if you're at home contradicting the dream by your very presence on the couch with a vision board, if that was all you were doing. Okay, so check that out. It's under the video. I'm not going to further rehash it. Last week, we talked about priorities into possibilities. You came up with 6, okay? Okay, I just told you that, so I'm not going to tell you about the sucky paths. That was my story. We're not attaching to them, so they're not cursed house. Now, what you're going to see in this week's worksheet, and I'll review it with you shortly, but let me give you the big picture right now, is you're actually picking 2 of the arenas that you identified. In your own time, you can do all 6 if you did in fact have 6, or maybe you only had 2, or maybe you only had 1. It's okay. There's a lot of wiggle room here. Don't be psyched out by exercises, okay? Just, it gets the juices flowing, clarity and resources are summoned. So with 1 of those or 2 of those arenas, you're going to deduce logically and intuitively simple things you can do in the days ahead. You can do logical stuff. I know that a lot of spiritual people are like anti-logic, and I'm significantly anti-logic, but there's a place for it. Don't just use your heart. Use your heart and your mind. I tell audiences, that I hear a lot of great ideas for wild and wonderful things happening in people's lives when I'm out on the road and they catch me in the hotel lobby or at the airport or signing books. And some of the ideas are so out there. I really wonder if they're on board with beliefs and logic. Okay? I mean, they're illogical. And that's okay. That's not all bad. But for example, my hypothetical illogical dream is kitten, like a little baby cat. They're so cute. Kitten leg warmers. Mike, I've got this idea and the universe loves me. I'm inventing kitten leg warmers, as if the cats weren't cute enough already. They're going to sweep the globe. I'll let Amazon fulfill it. I won't have to do any, storefronts. Kitten leg warmers, because the universe wants for me what I want for myself. I'm loved and adored. And then they go on this train of, spiritual truths that really don't connect with this if they have any trouble at all believing in their kitten leg warmers. Because I do. Might be possible. But if you're not on board logically, it's like, does it make some sense? Then it's because you have some other beliefs that you're unaware of saying, oh, come on, give me a break. So you want to come up with some baby steps that not only please your heart and intuition, that not only feel right, but that make some logical sense. And then you have peace. So what I would say to the person who wants to do kitten leg warmers as a baby step, do it. Do it, but don't let it be your only one. You'll see in the worksheet, you're going to come up with a number of baby steps, logical and intuitive. And I would urge that person to get a little more general in scope, open up a pet store. Okay, we know that works. Sell dog food and cat litter. We know that works. Squeaky toys and catnip. We know that works. Some bells and mirrors for your birds. We know that works. And sell kitten leg warmers. So by having a lot of little baby steps there, ideally all of which that you're on board with some degree of logic, is going to embolden you. You're like, this is doable. Other people have done it. I'm going to do it my way, but other people have done it. And don't be like, the universe loves me, so I can't fail. It's like, if you don't believe in yourself, you could, even though you're inclined to succeed. And we can navigate any invisible limiting beliefs by diversifying our arenas and our baby steps, hence the lecture. Getting logical for me, I thought I'd give you some examples stemming from my dark night of the soul. Of the many things I did, knocking on doors, turning over stones, with priorities in wealth and abundance and creative, fulfilling work. Those were my high priorities. And then the arenas under them, well, maybe I should go back to public accounting was an arena or a pathway. Maybe I should start my own accounting firm. Maybe I should consider irrigation repair. These were avenues. So what would you do specifically in them? So one of the simple baby steps I did using logic, okay, and then I'm going to share intuitive examples. Every Sunday, I would get the New York Times. This is like, before the internet was what the internet is today. So I'd go to 7-Eleven and get, the New York Times, even though I lived in Orlando, Florida. I'd get the Wall Street Journal and Entrepreneur Magazine, once a month. And I would look at the ads. I had a career in accounting. For 10 years, I sold t-shirts as an entrepreneur. I was scared spitless with the predicament of my life. I was definitely going to do the woo-woo, but I needed more assurance. And by getting logical and doing what my peers might do in my shoes, great spiritual baby step is to circulate your resume. Great spiritual baby step. Don't think that you're beyond, the ordinary. There's nothing unspiritual about the ordinary. Do it in conjunction with the woo-woo. What was that other example? I attended Toastmaster meetings and National Speaker Association meetings as a paying guest to kind of move in the direction of possibly being a hired speaker. That was very logical. I also got real excited because, people were using some of my poems without permission. I've told that story before, for e-cards. E-cards were a new phenomenon in the world 20 years ago. And they were giving me a lot of traffic. So I found out about e-cards and I thought, that's rock solid. I got credit card enabled. I did everything, learned the hoops. I got logical doing these things and it gave me hope. Getting the New York Times is like, I could see these ads for accounting firms, for finance positions, for business opportunities. I'm like, oh, there's a whole world out there. It's not just going to be me and the woo-woo coming from behind doing God knows what. Because back then I didn't know I was going to be a writer. That was one of my intuitive steps that I'll share with you shortly. Back then, I didn't know I would be a teacher. Back then, I didn't know what I would do. So I got a little logical, and that gave me peace. It made me feel like, there's stuff out there for me. And then as the week would go by, I'd be like, I don't need that stuff. And then I'd be desperate at the end of the week, and I'd get another New York Times. I'd be, yeah. Or something else I did very logical. I stopped running my air conditioner at 78 and started running it at 82. That made me feel better. It was a negative act of faith. I'm going to run out of money. But that logical step of prudence made me feel better. I consider that an important baby step. Thereby, I'm working with all of my beliefs. Intuitively. So intuitive. So I just gave you some examples of what I did logically. Intuitively, I started sending out these free emails as Mike, which got good replies and a lot of unsubscribes. But you know what that led to? The free emails, Monday Morning Motivators from Mike, turned into Notes from the Universe. Then I joined Toastmasters. I joined Toastmasters and went to NSA. That was logical, but it was a heartfelt feeling that I have something to say. I'm saying it in these emails, and I'm not making any money saying it in these emails or from my website. And so why don't I get over the fear of public speaking? Because just maybe something will be there. That was more intuitive. I got my lists mixed up. Let me reread the logical list, bullet points. The New York Times and periodicals every week or month. Circulated my accountant's resume was number 2. Number 3, I turned down my air conditioner and disconnected cable TV. Those were the 3 logical, physical things I did. Intuitively, I sent out free emails. I didn't know where it was going, but I had a sense that Al Gore was right when he invented the internet. And this internet thing might go somewhere. So let me just continue sending this out. I love writing about the nature of reality. So that was feeling my heart. Didn't make logical sense. When you're doing intuitive stuff, it's based on your feelings. Intuition is based on your feelings. You're listening to your heart. And it is where very rarely does logic apply. So we're doing the logical and we're going out of our way to do the illogical based on our feelings. I want you to do both when you formulate your lists. The other thing I did intuitively, I got my list mixed up, was I did the free e-cards to put banners up so that as people circulated them through viral marketing, they would click on the banners for a credit card or an airline frequent flyer deal, and I would get paid a commission. So New York Times, CPA, air conditioning off, logical. Intuitive, send out free emails. Learn how to become a public speaker, even though speaking terrified me and I'd never done anything like that up until age 40. That's when I was doing this, age 40. And number 3, start creating e-cards on the internet. Those are the intuitive things. Which paid off? The logical or the illogical? The illogical. I remember thinking, Mike, are you delusional? Because month after month after month would go by and I didn't get a job. I couldn't get an interview. I kept knocking on those doors. And while I was expanding myself and gaining clarity in my intuitive paths, writing, building the website, getting over my fear of public speaking, even there I was making no money. But it felt right, and I had enough money to coast for a little bit longer. It was the intuitive side that was the very beginning of Tut.com, the Adventurers Club, World Tours, 800,000 Notes from the Universe subscribers, and the life of my wildest dreams, meeting my wife on a speaking gig in Mexico, and all the rest is history, So it was the intuitive stuff that made the magic happen in my life. But it was the logical stuff that held me over and gave me peace. I was not just doing the woo-woo, I was getting practical. I I was knocking on doors pertaining to my old profession. I became frugal and a miser. I would occasionally splurge financially, but overall, I was logically battening down the hatches, and that gave me peace so that I could be more present in my intuitive and feeling based baby steps. To state what should be the obvious, usually, certainly in my case, and maybe in every case, if you're really starting over and looking for wild transformation, the arenas you pick, that was last week, and the baby steps you take, which is this week, will bear little, if any, resemblance to the life of your wildest dreams. So this task of arenas, priorities, arenas, baby steps, has nothing to do with you discovering in this moment your passion and bliss, why you're here on earth, what you're going to thrive at. It has everything to do with getting you ultimately there. I mean, my initial emails as Mike turned into notes from the universe. My reaching out to a professional speaker to learn the trade turned into Infinite Possibilities, the audio program. My failed e-cards, I've told you about e-cards, right? Have you ever seen a Tut e-card? They failed. But I learned a lot about affiliate marketing, which I didn't know would be useful. I didn't even know it existed. And affiliate marketing turned into one of the biggest engines beneath Tut.com and the Notes from the Universe, where we get paid commissions and royalties when we do joint ventures with other people who have offerings. It's like the things I did failed. But before they were totally done and gone, they led to something else. And then those things usually failed, but that led to something else. And then the next thing I knew, I was on a world tour. The next thing I know, Glenda and Rhonda are calling me, sending me emails. Love the notes, love Infinite Possibilities. Can we interview you for a documentary on the law of attraction? It was like, I don't know. So you start out on the dirt path that leads to the diamond mine, like I said last week, and you understand that there's no cursed how until you attach or insist. The hows are glorious. The details are glorious. Other people are glorious. They're all going to be in your life. But you can't insist at the outset of a journey what the how will be, what baby step is going to work. You don't know which pitch the universe is going to smack out over the fence for your home run. And since you don't know, you better keep pitching. Keep pitching. It'll be demoralizing. It'll be embarrassing. It'll be awkward. Keep pitching. Keep pitching with a glad heart. Keep pitching knowing that you're not alone. Keep pitching, realizing your default settings are through the roof for greatness, love, joy, prosperity, whatever your heart desires, whatever your priorities are right now. In today's note sheet, there's a little, today's handout, there's a little note from the universe at the top. No matter what you're after in life, getting what you want always boils down to a little divine intervention. But then I'm talking about yours, not mine. Bada boom, the universe. One of my all-time favorite notes. Yes, there's divine intervention, but never does it reach somebody sitting on the couch. It reaches you in those moments when you're out in the world with a big dream, that lifestyle, that title, subtitle that you crafted earlier this month. And then you know where your priorities are, and that gives you some direction. And then you've got your direction, and then you say, well, what am I good at? What do I like? Should I practice accounting? Yeah, better than digging ditches. Should I open up my landscape company? Should I start sending out free emails? Explore internet marketing? Oh, these are the three areas that I think make the most sense and feel right. Now, what exactly can I do today? Get that domain name, print that business card, set up that bridge call, you name it. This is where you pick up the baton and go forward. So let me just show you the worksheet. Colorful as can be. Thank you, Gina. You're an artistic genius. Here's a model. And here's the blank sheet on back that needs to be filled out. So simple. Let it be simple. Let it be like fun, okay? But what you're doing is you're fleshing out actual stuff you'll do this week. Remember to do what your peers do. Remember to do what's logical. Remember to do what makes sense. Remember to do what's illogical, that feels right. And give yourself this palette. And remember, it's all spiritual. Cold calls, spiritual. Networking, spiritual. Going back to school, brushing up on continuing education, totally divine. It's all spiritual. You've put out the wish. Now show up to receive, and your cups will be overflowing. All right. I want to also point out that there's some footnotes on both of these pages that really ought to be read, okay? That clarify what I've said now, that remind you of your power, that show you of the simplicity and ease of doing all of this. Okay, it's a fun journey. You chose this lifetime, and you knew when you chose this lifetime that you would be in a place exactly as you are right now. Might be the best of times, might be the scariest of times, but it was part and parcel of your choice. Just know that that's the case. Don't second guess it. There's never been any mistakes. Everything is leading up to your finest moment. Thoughts become things. Choose the good ones.